question I have, one thing we seem to be missing, normally there's a small basket for depositing cards in once the students.
Oh, okay.
So I just didn't want to, if I throw them on the table, they'll fall off.
Okay, do you have, like, where would you put it?
Right there, it's just it's about this big. Little basket. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences session of the 140th Spring Convocation of the University of Manitoba. My name is Mel Braun. I'm a professor of voice at the Des Hotels Faculty of Music, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies this morning. We know you want to take pictures, that's a given. We just ask that you do it from your seats so as not to block access for the photographer. Cell phones, that's another thing we should talk about. If they could go on silent, that would be ideal. Following the ceremony, there will be a reception. Students will recess to the reception area in the J.A. Hildes Court and Joe Dupe Concourse in level 2 of the Basic Medical Sciences building. Please plan to meet your graduate in the reception area. At this time, I'd like to welcome our guests seated here in front of me, who are special guests of the President of our university. Welcome here, folks. I'd also like to extend a welcome to the department heads and faculty members of the Max Rady College of Medicine and the Rady Faculty of Health Sciences who have joined us here today. Now, for the reason we've all come, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the entrance of the academic procession and our graduating students. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that the University of Manitoba campuses are located on original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We are pleased to recognize and honor today's Métis graduates by displaying a specially created convocation sash on the center table. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories, we acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Now, graduands, if you could please rise and join Brigitte Berger. She's going to be accompanied by Kanisha Cruz-Khan, both of the 2019 Max Rady College of Medicine graduating class, in the singing of O Canada. Oh, okay. Okay. So, all right. Do I announce that? Before that, we'll just make sure to acknowledge the welcome of the Lieutenant Governor, and here's the Vice-Regal salute. So we'll now welcome Brigitte to sing, and following O Canada with the traditional honor song, which will be given to us by Vanessa Lilly.
Please be seated. Your honors, deans, graduands, family, and friends, welcome. In particular, I'd like to welcome today's recipient of our highest honor, the honorary doctorate degree, Mr. Robert Silver, and to acknowledge our Chancellor, Mr. Harvey Sector, and also welcome to our platform today, Her Honor Janice Filmon, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, and His Honor, Gary Filmon, honorary doctorate, Mr. Robert Falcon-Willett, Member of Parliament, Dr. James Davey, soon to be Distinguished Professor, Kevin Kavanagh, an honorary graduate of this university, Ms. Beth Beaupre, Assistant Deputy Minister, Department of Health and Workforce, Dr. Anna Ziomek, Registrar of the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Manitoba, Mr. Greg Nesbitt, Legislative Assistant, Health, Seniors and Active Living, Dr. Arnold Neymark, President and Dean Emeritus, Dr. John Wade, Dean Emeritus, Mr. Jeff Lieberman, Chair of the Board of Governors, and Mr. Ephraim Teklemariam, representing the Alumni Association. Also on the platform today are members of the senior administration of the university, deans, associate and assistant deans who have played important roles in the achievements that we celebrate today. And I want to thank all of you for being here. As president of the University of Manitoba, I formally declare convocation to be in session. The naming of faculties and colleges means different things for different people. For many of us, the names that we give to the constituent parts of the university are inspirational. They inspire us. Here in the Max Rady College of Medicine, to be inspired by the example of Dr. Max Rady, a caring, community-minded physician who earned distinction for his relief work during the Great Depression, would serve all of us well, I'm certain. Your faculty bears the name of the same family in honor of, in particular, of Dr. Max Rady's son, Ernest Rady, this university's most generous benefactor. What Max and Ernest Rady and so many others who've come before you exemplify is the spirit of giving back. As you will in your own careers, they achieved great things and they earned significant rewards. But they always remembered the importance of giving back to the community and to the world. I know, we all know in this room, that each of you has given much of yourselves to arrive here today, and we congratulate you for that. You have a great deal to be proud of, and we are proud of you. All of us gathered here today celebrate your success. At the same time, much has been given to all of us, and much has been given to you, from your families, your friends, your university, your community. Now you can enjoy the fruits of all your hard work, and of course, you've chosen a profession dedicated to improving, and in many cases, saving lives. In the spirit of your college and faculty namesakes, stay attuned always to other ways that you can give back. We need you, your community needs you, the world needs you to care, to remain engaged, to help. There are many ways to do this, and already during your studies, through initiatives like Habitat for Humanity, you've demonstrated as a class your community-mindedness. So I encourage you to keep up that pattern. It will be good for the world, and it will be good for you too. We're proud to be here today to celebrate with you. I now invite Her Honor, Lieutenant Governor of the Province of Manitoba, the Honorable Janice Filmon, to come to the podium.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. To Dr. Sector and our special honorary degree recipient today, and I have to believe all the rest of the dignitaries have been appropriately welcomed. And certainly to all of you, the families, babies, our future leaders, and to all of you, this is really for you today. I remember as a mother. What does that say to you? Healers, teachers, scientists, faculty, staff and graduates of the Max Rady College of Medicine, thank you for this chance for me to be able to share with you this remarkable day. I begin by acknowledging that the Anishinaabe and Métis people lived here long before this place became Winnipeg. The city remains home to the largest Indigenous community in Canada. But we've come together today to celebrate years of hard work that have allowed you to acquire hard-won knowledge and analytical skills. Equally, we celebrate the personal growth you've gone through in developing empathy and understanding of the human condition. In the years to come, wherever your careers take you, you will continue down that road, always learning, always growing. Whatever aspect of medicine you focus on, you will have many learning experiences as you begin your careers. One of them will be learning what it's like to be looked up to. Whether you always feel this way or not, you'll be seen as others, by others, as an expert, as a person with life-saving skills and knowledge. You go out into the world in a leadership position. Your words and actions will have the power to inspire others to take action and make changes. That can be a challenge, but it is also an incredible opportunity. It's an opportunity to find meaning through making a positive impact. It's an opportunity to find inspiration through working with others. It's an opportunity to embrace life fully. I am looking in your eyes. Amazing what you're going to do, and I know it. I know that you will continue to develop your knowledge as medical science advances and new treatments and technologies come into existence. But I urge you to continue to develop your empathy and understanding by listening, by getting involved in your community, by embracing all that our province, our nation, and our world has to offer. Your world needs the abilities that you bring to it. You will find you need the inspiration that comes from being fully engaged in the world. So congratulations on this great accomplishment. May your passion, curiosity, and dedication bring you many, many more days like this. Thank you, merci, miigwech. Congratulations.
Good morning. Your Honors, Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, guests, faculty, and students. You're launched. You might be interested in what you have launched into. We have 109 graduates, 58 are male, 51 are female. They range in age from 25 to 53. Good for you. There are 11 self-declared Indigenous students, 6 students from our bilingual stream, 36 students, rural Manitoba. 70 of you are staying in Manitoba for your residencies, which is a target we've had now for several years. 36 of you are entering family medicine residency training programs. Of those, 20 are training in our rural family medicine training programs. 5 are entering our northern and remote family medicine programs, and 34 are entering specialty streams. 4 short years have passed. I told you 4 years ago we'd go in a blink. Has it been a blink? Now, mostly a blink. You've been through many cycles. I want to tease you a little bit about one of them. You arrived here 4 years ago, pretty sure we would discover you weren't as smart as we thought you were, that you were imposters and you'd be caught. Your second year had a little more confidence instilled, and you thought you were actually pretty clear. The rest would be easy. And then we introduced clinical care. Once again, you felt like imposters on the wards. Started most conversations with, I don't know anything, but. And then, of course, you entered fourth year and the rigors of the match and national exams, where you for sure thought we would catch you, you would never match, nobody would want you. And here we are, all alive and well. But you're entering a new period of feeling like imposters. You're entering residency programs where the responsibilities increase, the stakes get a little higher, and once again, your insecurities will re-arrive. So let me reassure you, you're well prepared. You're locked and ready to go, and what you've experienced are all normal fears. I'll in fact share a secret that all the people on this stage, despite the hundreds of talks, lectures, and other things they may have given, also feel like imposters. There's always a little part of your brain, 10 years from now when you're giving an august lecture, a little part of your brain will say, why is anybody listening to me? So it's normal, you're not imposters, you're going to do very well. You've worked hard. I can only promise you'll continue to work hard. But you might ask what's expected of you. Your families will want your time and attention. The system wants competent, attentive, safe, and efficient care. Your patients will assume your competence, but want an understanding ear, an occasional smile, empathy, and understanding that although you may have seen these cases many times, to them, and they want for you, that the N is one. To try to find balance in all this is part of that expectation. That balance that you seek and find will determine your own sense of contribution, satisfaction, and well-being. There's many challenges you'll face. What you have learned in this 4 years will be redundant before too long. You'll need to continue to learn to be able to stay abreast of the work that you're doing. You'll face changes in what you do in the health system, and change is always upon us. You really need to embrace it and use change to improve the care you can provide to patients. We really hope you'll pay special attention to the people in our community with the most needs. It may be, of course, in this province, the Indigenous community, may be patients with mental health needs, and there's many others. But please pay attention to those that need the most. They should receive the most. Embrace reconciliation as both a civic and professional duty, and enjoy the many, many privileges that come with this role. But remember that they are not entitlements. Indeed, if you ever feel the victim, please give your head a shake. And to families, if you sense growing entitlement in your offspring, help them with the head shake. You are the future of this profession. Enjoy the ride.
Your Honours, members of the Platform Party, graduates, and your guests. The highest honour the Senate of a university can confirm on an individual is an honorary doctorate, and I'm honoured to be asked to read this citation today. At the University of Manitoba, the criteria includes distinguished achievement in scholarship, the arts, or public service. Our honorary graduate this morning is Mr. Robert Silver. In 1970, when Bob Silver completed a bachelor's degree in science at the University of Manitoba, he couldn't wait to get out of town and took off without attending his convocation. He backpacked around Europe, lived for 6 months in India, and then went back to the land in British Columbia as a self-sufficient farmer. But then, in 1973, his father passed away. Reluctantly, Mr. Silver came home to help his great-uncle sell the family business, Western Glove Works, which had been manufacturing workwear in Winnipeg since 1921. When no one would buy the company without the family management team, Mr. Silver decided to keep the business and lead it with partners Ron Stern, Norm Stern, and Michael Silver. With his new responsibilities, Mr. Silver gained a new perspective. He became committed to building his business, strengthening the Winnipeg and Manitoba communities, and supporting higher education. Today, he exemplifies Manitoba's can-do spirit. He's an influential business leader and advisor, community builder, and philanthropist. When he was honored 10 years ago by the Jewish National Fund, he told the audience, I quote, "Our role is to make things better for those who follow us." Mr. Silver has served as Chancellor at the University of Winnipeg for 9 years, emphasizing the importance of making education accessible to all. At the University of Manitoba, he led the development of the Smart Park Research and Technology Hub, and now chairs the board overseeing the Southwood Lands expansion of the Fort Garry campus. As president and co-owner of Western Gloveworks, Mr. Silver has achieved international success with casual wear brands such as Silver Jeans and Jag Jeans. Navigating through the enormous upheaval in the garment industry while driving innovation, he has kept the company on course to celebrate its 100th year in business in 2021. The Silver Jeans motto, "Be present, be inspired, be authentic," reflects Mr. Silver's dedication to conducting business with integrity. Western Gloveworks has a corporate program to safeguard human rights and is committed to environmental sustainability in manufacturing. Mr. Silver also co-owns the Winnipeg Free Press, the largest independent newspaper in Canada, along with the Brandon Sun, as well as the Urban Barn Warehouse One, Ricky's, Cleo, Suzanne's, and Bootlegger retail chains. He shares his expertise as a board member of Centerport Canada, the First Peoples Economic Council Growth Fund, the RBC Convention Centre, and the Canadian Apparel Federation. In the past, he has chaired the United Way of Winnipeg campaign, co-chaired the Premier's Economic Advisory Council, and led projects for the Jewish Federation of Winnipeg. Mr. Silver also works tirelessly to enrich Manitoba's cultural life. He spearheaded the redevelopment of Winnipeg's Millennium Library and is a generous supporter of assets such as the Assiniboine Park Conservancy and the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. His many accolades include the Order of Manitoba and the University of Manitoba's Distinguished Alumni Award. It's my pleasure on behalf of the Senate of the University of Manitoba to ask Mr. Robert Silver to come forward for the formal conferral of an honorary degree in recognition of his service to post-secondary education, leadership in enhancing the economic, cultural, and social vibrancy of our communities, and dedication to empowering others.
Take two.
Easy go.
Okay.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations, Dr. Silver.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, Your Honor, honored guests on the platform, family of the graduates, and most specifically, the graduates. Firstly, I'd like to thank the University of Manitoba for this honor. I'm humbled and stand in very, very esteemed company receiving this. I'd also like to thank my family, my wife, and my children for the support they gave me and continue to give me while I fool around. I'd like to tell you a little bit of my story, and hopefully through that you will get a pearl of wisdom or not. I entered the University of Manitoba in 1967. In 1967, I had absolutely no clue what I wanted to do with my life. I knew that I was very, very fond of mathematics and science, and I thought I could pursue a degree, a life in the sciences. And 3 years later, after some fraternity parties, after summer in Europe, after many, many, many hours in the study hall, I graduated. This is my first University of Manitoba convocation. I left town. I couldn't wait to leave town. And when I graduated, I had even less of a clue what I wanted to do with my life. Completely clueless. Now, most of you graduates have a fairly good idea of what you want to do. And I commend you for that. For me, not a hot clue what life had in store for me. So I wandered. I went to India to discover myself, didn't. Went to the country to build a house and a dome and to farm the land and become one with nature. That was marvelous, and it was a terrific education, especially for a fellow who grew up in suburban Winnipeg, and to actually know which end of the hammer to use was quite an education, and which end of the axe to use. And that still, through those experiences, I did not know what I wanted to do, but circumstances got in the way of what I was going to dream was my profession, my way in life. My father passed away, I returned to Winnipeg, and I went to work with my great-uncle in the apparel business. Now, I can tell you that nobody in the apparel business has ever saved a life. None of my jeans ever saved a life. Might have made you feel better, might have made your bum look better, might have made you more presentable, but didn't save a life. It was a shock to me that here I was, after all this altruistic thought and all these journeys through life, there I was in the apparel business making blue jeans. So this is what it's come to. But something happened along the way and became more important to me, especially learning from people like Harvey Sector, my friend Barry Shankro, and many other members of this community, that what you did was important. But more important was how you did it, how you acted, how you did things. So I could get some peace within myself that even though blue jeans never saved anybody's life, how I did that would be important. How I treated my employees, how I treated my customers, how I treated my associates, how I treated members of my community was more important than what I actually did. It's how you do it. A spiritual leader was asked once by his student, the spiritual leader asked the student, said, "What do you want to do when you go into the world?" And the student said, "I want to be a doctor." And the spiritual leader said, "I didn't ask you what you wanted to do, I asked you what you wanted to be." And this is more important. What you're doing in life has great, and what you potentially will do in life has great, great importance. You can save lives. You can change somebody's future through better health care, better support. You can do that. and I encourage you to do so. But even more importantly, it's the manner in which you do it that becomes important. The manner in which you treat your patients, the manner in which you treat your associates, the manner in which you treat the people around you becomes more important than just what you do. And this is, to me, what this community, what this province is all about. People being the best they can be. People being humble. People being honest. People being understanding. People treating everybody else as they want to be treated, regardless of size, shape, color, religion, background, whether you have 2 arms or no arms. It's how you treat people that's going to become important. And that's what I've tried to do. And if this is some small reward for having done some things in a manner that others seem to be worth of praise, that's great. I appreciate that. What I'd appreciate even more is you to learn a little lesson. And for you to give back, not just through your profession, but through your lives, through the twinkle in your eye. Give back to this community what your families, what this community has given to you. This is a wonderful event. I see so much support for the graduates here, so much support from the family. Now it becomes our job, your job, to give back to the families that you will create, to give back to the communities that you will create, to give back to the society that we all strive to live in, an inclusive society that doesn't know the meaning of the word war and gives more than it takes. I encourage you to do that, and even more specifically, I encourage you to do it right here in this wonderful community of Winnipeg and Manitoba. It's this community that teaches all of us what it is to be. It was originally founded because 2 rivers crossed here. Today, from an economic perspective, there's little economic driving forces that say this is the place to be. What says it is the people. What says it is the attitude. What says it is how we care for each other. So I encourage you to do that. As I look out there, I'm very, very sure that you are going to walk out of here knowing what you want to do. Hopefully, you'll also know what you want to be. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Janice Ristock, Provost and Vice President Academic, and it's my privilege to introduce the individual who is receiving the title Distinguished Professor. The university confers the title Distinguished Professor on those academic staff members who have demonstrated outstanding distinction in research, scholarship, creative endeavors, professional service, and teaching. This prestigious honor may be held by no more than 25 professors at one time. And today's worthy recipient is Dr. Jim Davey. Dr. Davey joined the Max Rady College of Medicine's Department of Biochemistry and Medical Genetics in 1983. His transformative research program has improved our understanding of how genes in normal and diseased cells express themselves, including how a particular fatty acid can arrest the spread of cancer cells. This extraordinary finding came relatively early in his career, and it sent waves through the research community. He and his team continued to build upon this early finding and published a series of papers that served as the foundation for the development of a new class of anti-cancer drugs. Today, as Tier 1 Canada Research Chair in Chromatin Dynamics, He remains at the forefront of biological exploration. Dr. Davy has published over 200 peer-reviewed articles in prestigious journals such as Cell, Science, and Nature, and his work has been cited nearly 19,000 times. He is also a senior scientist at the Research Institute in Oncology and Hematology and a scientist at the Children's Hospital Research Institute of Manitoba. Dr. Davy is the founder of the Manitoba Epigenetics Network and is a member of the Canadian Epigenetics Environment and Health Research Consortium Executive. Throughout his distinguished career, Dr. Davy has garnered many awards and distinctions, including being elected as Fellow of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada, and receiving the University of Manitoba Health Sciences Graduate Students Association Award for Distinction in Mentorship. Today, we are delighted to bestow upon Dr. Jim Davy the title Distinguished Professor. So I invite you to come forward, Dr. Davy, and accept congratulations from the President.
Good morning, all. My name is Dr. Ira Ripstein. I'm the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Medical Education, and it's my honor to present 4 Convocation Awards. If I could have the presenters and recipients come up when I call you. The first is the Fairgrave McBain Award. The Fairgrave McBain Award will be presented by Dr. Aviva Goldberg to a member of the graduating class, having demonstrated the most genuine compassion and profound interest in caring for those in need of medical assistance. And the award goes to Jeffrey McCormick. The Catherine Clausen Memorial Award, which will be presented by Mrs. Linda Hamilton Clausen to a graduating student who is recognized by peers and instructors as having demonstrated a high level of compassion, humanism, and as having modeled a patient-centered approach to care. And the award goes to Christina Peterson. The Manitoba Medical College Foundation Jack Hildy's Memorial Award, which I will present, to a member of the graduating class who most exemplifies qualities of humanity, personal discipline, keen curiosity, scientific inquiry, social responsibility, and good citizenship, which enhance a career in medicine and advance health in the community. And the award goes to Ruth Hepty. And finally, the Manitoba Medical College Foundation Robin Krause Human Values Convocation Prize, which will be presented by Dr. José Francois to a graduating student who best exhibits the traits inherent in the mission statement and goals of the Human Values Program. And the award goes to Eric Gulliver. Please note in the back of your program there have been many other student award winners, and all of those are listed in your program. It's now my honor to preside over the passing of the sticks. The first stick will be from our to the incoming president of the Manitoba Medical Students Association, Ms. Jamie Walker, and that will be presented by the outgoing president, Christopher Briggs. And there actually is a stick. And finally, the transfer of the honorary senior stick presented to the incoming faculty advisor chosen by the Manitoba Medical Students Association, and that goes to Dr. Anita Soni and will be presented by the outgoing honorary senior stick, Dr. Marcia Anderson.
It's now time for Chancellor Harvey Sector to address Convocation.
Thank you, Mr. Braun. One of the highlights of my time as Chancellor has been the opportunity to participate in more than 100 sessions of Convocation. It's always an honor to join the graduates, their partners, parents, family, and friends in celebrating the completion of their current programs. Congratulations to all the students who are receiving awards for their individual achievements, particularly to Dr. James Davey on being named a Distinguished Professor, and to a longtime friend of mine, the university, and more importantly, the community, Dr. Bob Silver, on receiving a most well-deserved honorary degree from his alma mater, and for showing up this time. As I was preparing some comments for today, I kept thinking of the Bob Dylan classic, "The Times They Are A-Changin'." It first came out in 1964. Folk music was all the rage, and this song captured the feeling of many of us who were students at the time. Though many of us remain convinced that the 60s were unique, I now realize that times continue to be a-changin'. Just a few years ago, I was here speaking to the graduates about the major changes that were being implemented by the creation of the new Faculty of Health Sciences and a plan to develop an innovative new approach to healthcare education. A couple of years later, I was here speaking about the naming of the faculty in the College of Medicine in recognition of transformative commitments being made by an alumnus of ours. I believe that the University of Manitoba and its Faculty of Health Sciences is well on its way to reaching its goal of becoming recognized as an international leader in the education, training, research, and practice of integrated healthcare. Many people recognize that in a world experiencing enormous technological and social change, faculties like yours need to adapt to maintain their relevance. But we also know that change rarely occurs easily. During the past decade, both the university and our community at large have made great strides forward, largely as the result of dedicated efforts by leaders with the wisdom, courage, and fortitude to spearhead that process of change. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." She could have been describing today's honoree, Bob Silver, a tireless leader for positive change in this community for more than a quarter of a century. Even though most of us may never have the individual impact of someone like today's honoree, Bob Kennedy reminded us that each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total of those acts will be written the history of this generation. So I encourage you to think about the comments that Dr. Silver made. not just what we do, but how we do it. And in that way, each of us can contribute to writing the history of the next generation. It's often said that upon graduation, we take with us not only a degree, but also the reputation of our alma mater. At the University of Manitoba, we proudly proclaim that our alumni have shown that from here you can go anywhere. Bob Silver reminds us that you can also stay here, succeed, and make a real difference. Albert Einstein once said, "Seek not success, but rather a life of value." Someone like Bob Silver proves that this is not a binary choice, but that you can do both, and you can do it right here at home. You and I are the beneficiaries of an enviable reputation built by others. I'm confident that many of you will follow Bob Silver's advice and do what you can to enhance that reputation even further by the contributions you'll make not only to your profession, but to your communities, wherever that may be. All of us here at the university hope that as you reflect back on your time at the University of Manitoba, you'll feel that while you were here, you moved just a little further along that path of becoming who you were really meant to be. Best wishes for professional careers and personal lives that are filled with much success and even more satisfaction. Good luck to you all.
Mr. Chancellor, I now have the honour to request on behalf of the University Senate that you confer upon the candidates the degrees earned by them, as these shall later be announced. Will those who are to receive degrees please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Chancellor of this university, I admit you to the degrees to which you are severally entitled, with all of the rights and privileges thereto appertaining. I also admit in absentia those who've completed the requirements for these degrees, but who are not today able to be present.
Congratulations, you are now graduates of the University of Manitoba, and you can move the tassel from the right to the left. So I'd ask at this point that those of you who are in the front row, please remain standing, and the others resume your seats. Mr. Chancellor, may I now present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Doctor of Medicine and Bachelor of Science in Medicine, with Dean Brian Postal of the Max Rady College of Medicine presenting the parchments. Andrew Adeolu Ajishebutu. Aidan John Baker. Alan Beaudry. The winner of the Community Health Sciences Advocacy Award and the John M. Embiel Award for Excellence in Clinical Infectious Diseases, Christopher Kyle Briggs. Sean Roland DeRoche. Rami Elzayat. The winner of the Dr. William Webster Award, Samantha Ray Bruce Frost. Ruth Mantigbosh Habti. Nicholas Hargrove. Mackenzie Ambrose Marvin King. Natasha Kalita Clem. Matthew Kochan. Zineb Abbas Koja. Nicholas Hans Kruger. Blake Ryan Lerner. Christina Therese Peterson. Philip James Priest. Anna Schwartz. Julie Ann Semenchuk. Everett Serena Vun. And now, Mr. Chancellor, may I present the candidates whom you have admitted to the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Zana Alai. Ali Al-Maleki. Braden Corey Arbuckle. Alyssa Jill Archibald. Karen Diane Bailey. Brigitte Heather Berriger. Alexandra Jules Beaumont. The winner of the Dr. Tet Pinyong Award in Undergraduate Surgery, Jacqueline José Beaumont. Courtney Paige Bell Meinecker. The winner of the Dr. Patricia Ann Whiteman Award for Excellence in Psychiatry, Matthew Clark Buchuk. And the winner of the James Walker Wood Convocation Prize in Family Medicine, Melissa Catherine Bullock. Vanessa Kamaklang. Brett Cameron. Shane Cameron. Jacob Daniel Cavers. Suyu Eunice Chang. Scott Milton Christiansen. Simon Christie. Yun Tae Chung. The winner of the James Walker Wood Convocation Prize in Family Medicine, Cody Klovchuk. Holly Cole. Kanisha Kayla Cruz Khan. Costa John Danakis. Alexandra Nicole Danson. Andrew James Denishuk. Christopher William Dubiel. Cardi Lee Fedorowicz. The winner of the Paul Nera Convocation Prize in Family Medicine and Community Health Sciences Population Health Engagement Award, Amanda Jacqueline Rosa Fontes. Emily Eloise Marie Fowler. Caitlin Sarah Britt Fulmore. Diana Gigliotti. Camille Marie Glidden. Hayden Glore. The winner of the Dr. Harold Popham Scholarship, Rebecca Suvanareka Gole. Annie Gong. Laurel Grant. Ken Gu. Lindsay Jade Margaret Gunther. Mitchell Guest. Eric Fraser Gulliver. Peggy Ellen Hamilton. Jacqueline Hebert. Michael William Halinsky. Muzin Ismath. Himat Oshada Jayasinghe. Hyun Jae Kim. Jennifer Ann Kirkpatrick. Lindsay Kilgard. Anastasia Lavinta. Romina Diana Levy. Rachel Elizabeth Davy Lepke. Aaron Sylvain Macaulay. Karen Aguinaldo Magsino. Lauren Cara Marie Champagne Manuel. Amanda Marie Martin. Jeffrey McCormick. Alexander McKinnon. Mohammed Hossein Magare. Avneet Singh Morsara. The winner of the Lucas Charnecki Memorial Award, Carlo Gabriel Navarro. Stephen John Neal. Curtis Everett Nixon. Pavitra Bankim Patel. Trevor Alexis Peterson. Janelle Alexandra Quintana. Angela Michelle Reimer. Shakufe Saboktakim Rizi. Ramon Javier Felizardo Sales. Kirsten Elise Bergman Savignac. Japandeep Singh Sethi. Charlene Skeed. Cameron Gary Sweetman. Leanne Jennifer Thompson. Danielle Elise Thorderson. Matthew David Van Otterloo. Winner of the Community Health Sciences Advocacy Award, Lucas Tyler Vassis. Stephen James Wager. Nicole Marie Weems. William Riley Workman. Tian Shu. Jade Marie Jean Young. Bowen Zhu. Shenghua Chu.
Well, if we could please stand. Okay, let's do it with me. As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly Good job. Well, I think it's time now for the valedictory address, and if I could call up Andrew.
I didn't forget anything this time. Okay. President Bernard, Chancellor Sector, deans, faculty, staff, friends, and family, on behalf of the class of 2019, I would like to thank you all for joining us on this special day. And to my fellow classmates, I'm honored to have the opportunity to address you today. 4 years ago, we were sitting here at our white coat ceremony, surrounded by our friends and family. We were at the pinnacle of our success. Much like today, it was a time of celebration, where we could bask in our accomplishments as they were laid out before us, and soak in the admiration and mutual respect of our peers. This is very annoying. I think back then I had a general sense that medical school was going to be difficult, sure, but I was ready. We were ready. Our graduate degrees, our postgraduate degrees, years of hard work had brought us to this moment. We had been chosen from amongst so many to take this journey. We worked hard, we pulled the all-nighters, and we got the grades. We were smart, we were young, well, young at heart, right, Steve? And we were bright-eyed and eager to learn. That day of celebration of our achievements, that was a much-deserved one. And I don't know about the rest of you, but within that excitement, a little part of me felt intimidated. We had mothers, we had fathers, we had engineers, we had lawyers, athletes, and members of the military. In just a few weeks of class, I was marveling at the intellect of the likes of Sean and Shane. I don't know why you guys are laughing, it's true. I thought to myself, how could people be as charming as Musine? Or as funny as Xander thinks he is? At seeing all these accomplished, dignified people, I felt a small seed of something plant itself inside me. At that time, as smart and as clever as we were just individuals. A lot of us were strangers to one another, but that would change. In pre-clerkship, we fretted over the details of hematology, knowing full well that Dr. Houston was not playing around. We all knowingly nodded our heads through nephrology tutorials, pretending like we knew what Dr. Bernstein was talking about. And we all collectively and yet independently decided that, you know what, maybe the detailed anatomy of the posterior fossa wasn't something we needed to know right away. And without realizing it, this group of strangers became something more. Clinical reasoning tutorials slowly transformed from weekly grilling sessions to weekly potlucks. Every study session transformed from a serious review of that week's material to a serious review of that week's hottest gossip. And every new module transformed into a chance to sample another one of Deanna's amazing culinary creations. And at this time, 2 years ago, we had learned so much. We were fresh, we were confident, and we were eager to hit the wards. The further we went, the deeper my sense of awe and my fellow classmates became. And to me, that tiny seed of uncertainty had only grown. But there was no time to worry about that. Summer, our last summer, came and went, and suddenly we were being thrown headfirst into the wards. There we met new challenges. We met our first patients and tried to play it off like we knew exactly what we were talking about. We scrubbed into our first cases and were promptly told to go outside and do it again because we immediately contaminated ourselves. Maybe that was just me, I don't know. We delivered our first babies and we didn't drop a single one. Of course, not everything was easy. For some of us, we experienced our first failures and our first disappointments. The first time we had to hear bad news, and the first time we had to share it. For all that preparation, for all the work we'd done, nothing truly compared to the real thing. 1 year ago, I was sitting right, I think, up there, watching the class of 2018 glide across the stage, recite their oaths, and throw their hats up in glee as they celebrated the very thing that we are celebrating today. And I remember feeling pride, respect, admiration, but at that time, just a little bit of terror. I was nervous for the future, for CARMs, for interviews, and for what felt like the rest of my life. I was nervous then, and I'm nervous now. Because in a way, medicine has an uncanny way of making us feel inadequate at times, like our efforts aren't enough in the face of the many challenges ahead. And as much as our loved ones have rejoiced with us, they have no doubt seen and been there for the hard times, the tears of frustration, the sleepless nights, and the ill way that our stress can erode the very foundations on which we stand. That fear, I think, comes from a growing realization of the immense task being laid before us and the responsibility that comes with it. First, to our patients who put their trust in us every day, the worried new parents with their firstborn's first fever, the elderly patient who's coming to grips with the new limitations on their mobility and on their health, the grieving family who has just lost a loved one too soon. They all come to us, and many times at their lowest, looking for our guidance and our support. Next, we are responsible for the health of our communities that look to us for leadership on today's major issues, anywhere from the ongoing effect of colonialism on our Indigenous communities into the legislative attempts to strip people of their bodily autonomy. There are still inequities that we must face, still injustices from both the past and the present that we need to grapple with. With our power and place in society, it is up to us to lend our voices to those that can only speak at a whisper. The responsibility is weighty, and the goals are lofty. I think it is only natural that at times we question whether we're up to the task. But if there is anyone who is equal to it, It's the group of people sitting in front of me right now. Not just because you're smart, although you are. Not just because you're kind, although that's true as well. But because we're passionate. We're passionate about our communities and the world beyond them. It's that passion that drove us to fundraise for those less fortunate when it would have been easier to do nothing. To advocate for those in need when being more quiet was more convenient. To jump headfirst into research with hopes to improve what we know and to discover what we don't. That energy, the drive to do well and to do right, that is what will bring us to overcome that doubt. Fear, sometimes it can isolate us. It can make us feel like we're alone on this journey when clearly we are not. Every one of us has friends, families, partners, and children that have been there every step of the way. And to them, I can only say thank you. If I had another hour, I couldn't say more. Not just for being you, but for allowing us to be us. When we were tired after a long shift, you were there with a blanket and a shoulder to lean on. When we had tears in our eyes from either sadness or frustration, you were there with a hug and just the right words. Amongst you, we found kindness when we least expected it and found patience when we least deserved it. You should never forget that this is your day to celebrate as much as it is ours. This would not have been possible without you. None of us would be here without your love and your support. And to the staff and faculty who began as our teachers and ended as our mentors, thank you. You accepted us, you molded us, and you made us into the leaders of tomorrow. And for that, we are eternally grateful. Like 4 years ago, we sit poised upon a precipice. We've gone so far, we still have so much farther to go. Like back then, our journey is just a beginning. As we go off, from Vancouver all the way to Twillingate, as far as the most northern communities, and as close as just next door, I feel that the feeling of camaraderie will never fade. I, of course, will still have that little bud of worry, but amongst you, it's a pebble in the ocean of acceptance and warmth. And as I look out onto you all today, of course, I see a group of formidable individuals, but I also see a family that was never afraid to roll up their sleeves and do the right thing, a family that knew the importance of caring for one another and would stop at nothing to do so, a family full of lively debates and livelier games of pickup basketball, one that embraced each other not just in our victories, but in our defeats, not just for our virtues, but for our flaws. I have never known a braver, fiercer, or more wonderful group of people. The same people I was nervous to sit beside 4 years ago are the same ones I feel an immense pride at standing alongside today. So thank you and congratulations, my friends, my colleagues, my family.
Good morning, Your Honor, Chancellor, Sector, President Bernard, Dr. Silver, relatives from the government, guests, and graduates. Congratulations, graduates. Today, you turn the page and begin a new chapter of your life. There are discoveries to be made and stories to be written. Today not only marks your culmination of your effort and dedication towards your study and profession, but the next phase, what we hope will be a lifelong relationship with the University of Manitoba. Our alumni are the University of Manitoba, the greatest asset and strength. Worldwide, our alumni are ambassadors, advocates, and thought leaders. They include Dr. Edward Leinen, who helped made ultrasound one of the safest and most widely used non-invasive tools in medicine. Dr. Alan Becker, who co-authored the first Canadian pediatric asthma guideline. And also Dr. Marcia Anderson, who had reduced physician vacancy rate in northern communities by recognizing the importance of indigenous knowledge as part of patient care. Today, you join these individuals, 142,000 other alumni living in 138 countries. Congratulate graduates from here. You could go anywhere. And we are proud to have you as part of our University of Manitoba alumni family. Thank you.
I want to thank all of you for being part of this wonderful tradition of convocation and being with us here today. Certainly the graduates, and also family members and friends, the people who come make the party. Thank you for being here. I'd just like to observe that these convocation ceremonies today are the last at which our beloved Chancellor, Harvey Sector, will be presiding. So it's been a long and wonderful journey together for many of us with the Chancellor, and we thank you. And as it happens, our Chancellor-elect, Anne Mann, is here in the audience today, and we're looking forward to working with her. This brings us to the end of our official proceedings. I'm going to ask you to remain in your places until the academic procession has left the hall, and then please come to the second floor of the Basic Medical Sciences Building to celebrate graduation with friends and family members over lunch. So I now adjourn the 140th Annual Convocation until this afternoon at 2:30. And I would ask you to please rise for the departure of the Lieutenant Governor and her party, and then the academic procession thereafter.
back up just a little bit more, especially on the left side. And Alana, if you can move back too. I need Alana to move too. Okay. Okay, so everybody look up here.